Yeah, hello YouTube. Today we're gonna be learning that there are no wrong answers. There are only wrong questions. Oh, maybe I messed it up, but that's okay. There we're gonna be watching extremely wrong exam answers. Enjoy!
Recently, on some forum somewhere, I found a handful of things written by real students in history exams. I'll just read you a few quick. The greatest writer of the Renaissance was William Shakespeare. He was born in the year 1564, supposedly on his birthday. Louis Pasteur discovered a cure for rabbis. It was an age of great inventions and discoveries. Gutenberg invented removable type and the Bible. Another important invention was the circulation of blood. Gravity was invented by Isaac Newton. The 19th century was a time of a great many thoughts and inventions. People stopped reproducing.
It's coming so fast I cannot even perceive most of those. Oh no!
By hand and started reproducing by machine. Another story was William Tell, who, contrary to belief, did not shoot an apple which was on his son's head, but rather shot an arrow through an apple while standing on his son's head. This inspired me to check some Reddits for badly wrong exam answers, both accounted from the teachers who marked them and the very students who wrote them down. Polar environments have low levels of precipitation. Identify one other environment that has low levels of rainfall. The rainforest. I teach French, and as a bonus...
I feel like sometimes people just don't think what they typing down. They just think of the overall context, but not about, the exact question. Like, if the question has anything to do with rain, the first thing they're gonna answer will be like the rainforest,
On a quiz, I asked the students what happens in France on July 14th. Instead of writing Bastille Day, one student wrote Balls Out Day. Middle Ages test. What?
Maybe there was a Balls Out Day. Maybe we just don't know about it, okay? Maybe he's a time traveler and he witnessed it. He could witness it with his own eyes.
What colourful item did people hang on castle walls that also prevented drafts? Prisoners. One of the questions. Was like, what is it called when an object is stationary? And I put office materials. A kid in AP Calculus just wrote, wish I could, Queen, on a test question. Directions. Please correctly rewrite the sentence below. Has you ever been to an rodeo?
Have you ever been to rodeo?
Students' written response. No, I haven't, no. Had an English essay assignment about horse meat during the horse meat scandal in Europe. One girl actually wrote an whole essay about two horses meeting each other.
But why?
Biology question, something along the lines of, how should you treat someone with coronary heart disease? And I wrote, with respect. Bye!
Bro, that's true! But that reminds me of something. That totally reminds me of something. I remember my matura exam, so the final Polish exam. Basically, we have this kind of like written exams, but also there are two exams you need to answer, right? With your voice. You need to speak with the examinator, okay? And that is the Polish exam, and that is the English exam. Those are the two of them, okay? So I remember on my Polish one, I got a question about the main character in one of the Polish school books, Zdążyć przed Panem Bogiem. And basically, the guy was the hot sergeant during the Second War. And she asked me, who was this guy? Like, what was his profession? And I say he was a doctor. And then she said, no, he was a hot doctor. And I said, but a hot doctor is still a doctor. And I saw how angry my examinator was. She was so angry, so pissed at me. And at the same time, the second examinator was looking at her and was just like quietly laughing at her. But I think I was right in the end, wasn't I?
What? I've taught math from 6th through geometry. This assignment was one of the best I've seen. Just look at the instructions and his answers. Add or
what is that? Add or subtract? Add.
Subtract? Well, that's add. That's add. That one's subtract. Oh, this is easy. Yeah, but I wonder what went through it.
I love this.
His head at problem 16.
Oh!
Art class, teacher wanted 12 thumbnail sketches, a small rough idea of the picture, of our ideas for a painting. One girl drew her thumbnail 12 times. There you go, done. What a pointless exam. In middle school, my history teacher kept a book of all the funny answers he's gotten over the years. Define Nixon. What's the stuff in cigarettes that makes them addictive, no? Define poverty. Isn't that the time of your life when you go through, you know, changes and stuff? While teaching freshman English, we were studying some Shakespeare, and one of the vocab words was nobility. A kid answered, when you're not very good at something. No-ability. They had to use vocab words in an original sentence. The word was usurp. And the sentence, I usurp on my pancakes. Use the word fortify in a sentence. I have $45 in my pocket. Vocabulary test, use the word in a sentence, surf it. I saw a wave and decided to surf it. I teach physics and sometimes they get converted.
But never gonna lie, I think we at some point had exactly the same kind of test at my English classes. Though the only problem was, those are usually where the kind of words we didn't really work with before, or we had them once in the last month we're teaching, something like this. So I believe we never was right. But at some point, like, looking at the word, you can kinda guess out what is this word meaning. Or if not the meaning of the word, you can kinda try to guess out how to use this word, right? Like, if you know a similar word in English, the word you're having before you can kinda guess either what does it mean or how to use it. And I think in some cases, you can, like, get a really neutral kind of uses for words. Like, let's say the fortify, I thought it reminds me of fortress. So, like I would say, you know, I fortified my pillows! And I would probably get 0 for this because I still don't know what fortify means. I'm sorry.
Versions wrong, leading to great answers. The best was a pogo stick, which bounced around 100,000 meters high. Yeah, record for the highest pogo jump ever is only 3.5 meters. 100,000 meters would put you about there. GCSE mock.
But that is the typical physics class. I'm not even joking. I was taking the advanced physics at my high school, and listen, if you messed up one small thing in your entire, like, the question, right? Your answers would be really bad, like, really ridiculous. I remember once I got an answer that someone was walking, I believe, 130 kilometers per hour, something like this, because I miscalculated something, or I put, you know, like, a wrong unit in it. The exam tests are always the most hilarious to look at, okay?
I calculated that a coffee was 300 million Celsius in temperature.
See? That's what I'm talking about! A small mistake! But it looks so hilarious in the end.
516 meters squared for the area of the base of a jar. Ooh, that's a big jar, mate. I know, right? Broken heart emoji. Well, I put 0.8 centimeters for the height of a jar. I got a negative number. Analog sad face. Since I'm grading tests as we speak, let me just pull one from the stack here. Right, describe how glaciers were involved in the formation of the Great Lakes. Glaciers were involved with the Great Lakes by forming them. A response on a quiz about food safety.
Wait, but is it technically wrong? Is it technically wrong? Listen, if you're gonna look at that with really open mind, you can say it is kinda fair,
Does
right?
FDA stand for? Forget this assignment. What do we call the science of classifying living things? Racism? State the 2 organs that make up the central nervous system. Heart? Lamp. I spelt my last name completely wrong, and later in that exact same test, I accidentally wrote, fuck. I had to give a mandatory state writing test. Oh, and by the way, if you're going to draw anything from this video, it should probably be this. The prompt was related related to our study of that state's Native Americans and focused somehow on ears of corn.
What?
Apparently this kid had never heard the expression ears of corn. Just
Yeah.
spare a moment here to consider, after an exam everyone walks out talking about it, all your mates are
Bro, I didn't heard about it before as well. I still have no idea what does it mean.
going, oh, that was easy, wasn't it? I mean, everyone knows what ears of corn are, obviously. Meanwhile, you're silently panicking because you've written... So it morphed into this weird sci-fi story along the lines of The Fly, where a kid's ears turn into corn cobs. Toward the end, the main character was just saying, "What? I can't hear you. I have ears of corn." I was laughing so hard reading it, I couldn't even explain to the other teachers on my team what was so funny. In my English mock, I wrote something like, "The darkness emitted darkness." Loudly
Emitting the darkness. I love it. I absolutely love the sentence. Emitting the darkness, and the darkness emitting another darkness. I love it.
crying face emoji. Character AI behaviour. Loudly crying face emoji. Oh no, a ghost. Was a quote made by me in my English exam. Therefore, the overflowing ambition led Macbeth to his Macdeath. Skull emoji, skull emoji, skull emoji. Did you actually write that? I'm chuckling. Skull emoji. I said thank you in Spanish during my French exam when I was trying to say sorry in French. I was writing an essay for a French class test back in high school. I sucked at French. I sucked at it so badly, I inadvertently called my teacher a prostitute in that essay. I took a...
That reminds me. At primary school, a random test in English. I wrote, I was supposed to write that something was on a beach as a place with sand, right? And I misspelled it as a beach. Wait, what? No. I was supposed to type somebody's on beach, but I misspelled it as a bitch. I didn't hear my teacher laughing so much in a lot of years after that. This is stuff like this happens a lot, even in English.
AP Spanish this year. I mistranslated the words for laughter and smile in my head as crying and sadness.
What?
I ended up writing 200 plus words about the health benefits of being sad. In my French speaking mock, I was asked what I buy online and I straight up said dogs. Loudly crying face emoji. And then I followed up with and you, like I was expecting my teacher to agree with me. Scott!
Right, it doesn't sound bad that you buy dogs, I would say. You know, you can adopt a dog or buy a dog online, right? I mean, it doesn't sound bad in my opinion. It sounds kind of normal.
Emoji! Year 10 PPEs, this just a few days ago. I was absolutely cooked for the exams. I just used a bunch of random Spanish adjectives from Breaking Bad. Mi profesor en español es el güey y muerto porque abogado. Que divertido. My Spanish teacher is cool and dead because he's a lawyer. How funny. A-level speaking mock, I very confidently said that young people were getting addicted to young people. I was supposed to say young people are getting addicted to mobiles, and I got my words confused. The teacher had to stop the timer because she was laughing that hard. Our French class, we goofed and slacked too much. On one of my French quizzes, the teacher was angry because someone put the French word for grass as les grass. Ball jiggler confesses. Ah yes, the sub-dialect of French known as rage comics. It reminds me of my friend in 8th grade French. The question was, why do you eat a sandwich? And the answer the teacher was looking for was parce que j'ai faim, because I'm hungry. My friend wrote parce que je peux, because I can. A point moving through space. 9.
That's the best friend you had. That's the most best thing I had about French language.
An enclosed area that has height, width and volume. Form. The lightness or darkness of an object. Value. The way something actually feels or looks like it would feel. Texture. An enclosed area that has height and width. Shape. Draw a shape. There you go. What is your favourite hue? Jackman. I was a TA a couple years.
That reminds me. We had one collab one day with a bunch of people. I think we were playing like Party Animals, you know, some kind of game, okay? And at the beginning of the game, we had to put a question, and then at the end of the game, the person who won the game would answer to their question, okay? But at the same time, on like the credits, text, and everything on the screen, you know, like who made the game, etc., they were putting there our questions. And my question was, what's the opacity of rain? and someone read it out loud. And they were laughing and they were trying to guess who wrote something so stupid. And I don't know, took out my hand and I said, I wanted to say capacity. I wanted to say capacity. I thought opacity and capacity is the same, exactly same thing. Now some stuff is gonna hunt me till this day.
Years ago, for an engineering drawing class and on a lab assignment, I got, do you want my head to explode? I was giving a quiz on naming various instruments of the orchestra. The picture was of a gong. I got various answers, including bong, but the one that stood out the most, Japan Smasher. ITA Gen Chem one semester. There was a bonus question, who invented the hot air balloon? One student answered, Jesus. I put up an extra credit question, name a song about the weather. I mean, yeah, you got loads that, here comes the sun. Why does it always rain on me? This student, Highway to Hale. Highway to Hale. What? A HS Algebra 2 final. Not only do I not know the answer to this rather pointless piece of mathematical nonsense, I doubt my lack of this esoteric tidbit will have any impact on the whole rest of my life. Thus, I feel it only fair that I should get full credit, as it is a silly and pointless question. Random middle school student on an end of unit exam written response. Bruh, I've got a month left. I really don't give a fuck. I don't know if this counts, but one of the questions began with, a student is trying to calculate the volume of an egg, and I was so tired, I didn't give an answer. I just put, why? My AP Chem teacher graded for a few years, and he opened one booklet and a $5 bill fell out. Nothing much was written in the book. I've graded AP exams in the past. I had one individual decide, oh, fuck this test. I better write a full page of Game of Thrones spoilers. Show ruined. I had a kid literally draw a face on a cuboid when asked to draw the missing face. My comparative Gov teacher told me about the essay that contained no words, just a picture of Godzilla and King Kong attacking the College Board building. On the AP Physics exam, my answer to find the charge of the outer shell was a picture of a bunny in a lab coat attaching a car battery to a turtle to find the charge of the shell. Yeah, needless to say, I didn't pass that exam. This kid, though, this kid is going places. Miss, I can't read the question. There is, as you can see, a bear in the way. Make the opaque bear clear! How many sides are in a triangle? 2. Who is the Greek god of the ocean?
3.
Aquaman. State the functions of the stomach. Liver? People lived in poverty, which was bad because they didn't have money, which was bad because they couldn't afford food, which was bad because they would starve, which was bad because they would die, which was bad because this would make other people sad and lower their quality of life. It might be worth just clarifying why that's bad. When I was in my first year of college, my writing class assignment was to write an objective essay regarding Dr. King's movement. Being an idiot and not thinking clearly, I thought the professor meant to be objective, similar to a lawyer objecting something during a court case.
I have a dream.
Objection! In the end, I wrote a completely racist paper and received a 0. I had to explain myself to the dean the next day as well. Oh, I still cringe every time I think about that class. Vocab sheet for World War II unit sentence example. I don't think I would do well in a concentration camp, as I have ADHD. Second year.
I don't think you would do well in general.
Teaching about the beginning of World War I, and someone wrote about the assassination of Franz Ferdinand eating the bomb out of his car. Who was president during the early 1960s? John fucking Kennedy. Can't remember what the question was, but the correct answer was the presidential seal. The response from one of my students was
Sweat seal. That's a lot of damage.
Once in my GCSE geography class, we had a test regarding natural disasters. My friend forgot the word erupted and ended up writing, and I quote, the volcano volcanoed. One time my teacher asked on a test what was one animal that crossed the land bridge from Russia to America other than humans. I had the answer on the tip of my tongue, and instead of writing caribou, I blanked and wrote cantaloupes. This one girl last year.
I think someone did. Where does she even have? I don't think they grow in Russia in general.
year did an assignment on Hawaii when
Yeah?
the assignment was Iceland.
Oh.
She mixed up Ireland and Iceland and thought she could just choose any island. Live in Iceland can confirm it's practically the same place as Hawaii. I mean, both are located on geothermal hotspots and are surrounded by an ocean. Eyjafjallajökull, Hamahamanakanapua. The languages are even just as unpronounceable. Well, for you, maybe. Had a test, forgot how to spell Isle. I knew that all the words were
Isle?
contractions, so I just sounded it out and threw an apostrophe in there, like, Jackie, you can't just white out a question you don't want to answer. R/teachers and... now what? Okay, I'm a
Okay.
51-year-old long-term substitute teacher. I took this
Okay.
position in February, and it ends at the end of the year.
What's a substitute teacher in general? Is it like you have a one home teacher, so like the main teacher for the class for a subject or something, and you have a substitute? Like, is the substitute like the teacher of all their lessons, or a substitute like a teacher that will come in if the main teacher is sick or something? I have absolutely no idea what a substitute teacher is. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I've given a creative writing assignment, and a student has put gooning to a leprechaun in it. In high
What?
school, we took a quiz on Hamlet. Our teacher
Yeah.
told us, well, if you get confused, remember, the story is just like The Lion King. One of the questions asked how Hamlet's uncle died. Someone answered that he was thrown off a cliff and eaten alive by hyenas. GCSE Biology 1. What is the first antibiotic ever developed? Amputation. Student writing a lab report about a density experiment. Substance A will float in water because it is flamboyant. How does dietary fibre aids in digestion? It smoothens the shit. During a standardised test, one of the questions asked me to prove something about the constellations based on an article. I wrote, well, just trust me on this one, yeah? I was a TA for a very introductory physics classes last year.
Yeah,
The
what?
question was something like, Jane has a mass of 42 kilograms and is tied up on a platform on one side of a 30-metre room 20 metres in the air. Tarzan has a mass of 60 kilograms and grabs onto a vine swinging from the middle of the room where he stands 20 metres in the air. If he starts at an initial velocity of 0, what is Tarzan's velocity at his lowest point? What is
Oh my
Tarzan's and
God.
Jane's velocity as they're exiting the building? And
Oh my
what I received
God.
for an answer? To the window, to the wall, till the sweat drips down my balls. Oh, then Janes can crawl. Ski ski, motherfucker.
What the hell is that question even? Why you have a Tarzan in your physics question? Do you... Other questions on our physics class weren't this crazy usually. I wish I had Tarzan's questions. It would be much more funny.
Bugger, ski ski, goddammit. A grade 12 student who never showed up to class and never turned in any homework or assignments tried to breakfast club me with a heartfelt personal essay on his final exam. He even tried to end it with, Mr. Teacher, I know this maybe isn't what you were looking for, but it's what I know and feel.
What?
I still failed the shit out of him. Fucking yes! Always hated that trope
Dumb.
in movies. The first cells were probably lonely? No. What is the strongest force on Earth? Love. No. Name a location, a country or regional area that is sparsely populated. The ocean. No, but state one significant physical reason why the area named above is sparsely populated. Well, because humans can't breath underwater. No. Hey, why are you booing me? I'm right. Yeah, marking does seem a bit unfair sometimes, and that's why if you're a student, you may be tempted to cheat. There are some genius ways to cheat. I work at a university and heard a chemistry student facing an exam had grown a couple of his fingernails long enough to write formulae on the underside of them. But if you're not a genius, there's two ways to cheat, really. Either copy online. Last year, I got a submission of an assignment that began with the sentence, as an AI language model, I cannot provide a specific answer to this question without any context or source. Had an essay I graded this.
Bro, it reminds me during online teaching, during the pandemic times. Basically, at some point, two of my classmates admitted the same essay to our Polish teacher. Basically, one of them admitted it. The second one said they forgot to admit it. The first student got already graded. I think they got 6, so like the best grade she could get. They just changed the file name. The second student sent it the teacher the exactly same thing, and the student got 3, I suppose. So like the middle one, I would say, not the best one in general. People laughing so bad at this.
Year it ended with, don't forget to like and subscribe for more essay content. Second graders were doing posters on various countries. One kid copied and pasted without understanding what they were saying. What is Colombia known for? Well, Colombia is known for a diverse culture, stunning natural landscapes, and production of high quality coffee and cocaine. My first year teaching, I got... A lot of plagiarised material turned in on essays, but the one line that will forever live in infamy is that of the 13-year-old boy who wrote...
Well, but does it mean that basically when you're turning in your essays, you can write them at home or something? Because for us, we usually had to write, like, the essay on lesson. Like, if it was a physical lesson, so not the pandemic times, we would be sitting in the class and we would be, like, written it. We had, I think, 2 hours to write an essay, something like this. During the pandemic times, of course, we were typing them, by ourselves in homes. But does it mean, like, in America, when you have an essay to put in, you can just write it at home? Without, not even worrying about anything? Like, you don't need to do it, like, in 2 hours or something? Without any, additional stuff? For us, we weren't allowed to touch phones, touch anything at all. During the break, sometimes, they would allow us to go out. I mean, sometimes when there was a break between 2 lessons, so between those 2 hours, they would allow us to go out, and then we would be, like, doing some speedrun research on the phones to see if we having everything correct when it comes to, let's say, any kind of content that comes from a book. But other than this, we were never really allowed to do this kind of stuff at home because they were really, really worried we would be cheating. And just for them, we were cheating even in classes usually with, having the phone under the desk or something.
Wrote, in my 28 years of serving in the Air Force. Or the other cheating option, of course, copy whoever's next to you. On a vocabulary quiz, students had to use courage in a sentence. One girl, Jame, wrote, my brother showed courage when he fought in the war. The girl next to her wrote, James' brother showed courage when he fought in the war. I had a kid cheating on a test. He went as far as to copy everything, exactly where it was on the other kid's test, including his doodles. On a world history test, I once asked what Magna Carta meant, translated into modern English. There were 3 boys sitting in a row near the back of the class. The first boy answered the question correctly and wrote a Great Charter. The second boy, sitting behind the first and looking over his shoulder, wrote a Greek Charter. The third boy, sitting behind the second and looking over his shoulder, wrote that the Magna Carta was the name of a Greek skater. Imagining Magna Charta. Imadri edipene ton. Kemoese nakano patinaz.
Yeah.
Shit.
Oh no! What? At least he didn't hurt himself. Oh, I don't think it will end well in the end. Oh, good job!
This is going to be my last video for the year.
Fabulous!
I want to spend my first Christmas with my new son. Thank you for joining me for 2025. I know the upload schedule's been a little bit sporadic, but it's been a good year. Good year, productive year. Got a lot done.
Oh!
A domesticated bear! The boy will be in nursery in the new year, so there should be more time for videos. Furby Part 4, Cooking with Matt 1.28 mil. Crazy line stories, because I know some of you have asked for that constantly all the time. Back early 2026. And I have a couple collabs in the work between now and then just to tide you over. But finally, this video, let's end with a few more dumb lines written in exams, courtesy of this poster's mom's friend. During the Boston Tea Party, the colonists bombed the harbour with tea. The cost of living at this time changed drastically. The jobs were poor and very monogamous. Basically, King George was being like a giant prick. On a question about things like prohibition and religion in the 1920s, we became a nation where sex was a thing for fun and could be purchased. We went from celibate to sell a butt. And finally, there was a man who made history in the world. A man whose name shall never be forgotten. And that man is Charles Darwin.
I absolutely love it. I absolutely love it. Listen, wrong or stupid answers on exams is forever one of my top content to watch. It's always either adorable or funny. So, thank you so much for watching this one with me. I hope you had fun, and see you next time. Bye, boy!